Hi, it's John, and I'd like to take you on a tour of a place which I had an amazing experience at as part of a meditation where I was taken in a past life to this location where I lived previously. And it's actually a place really close to where I live just now, and it's a location which is in the East Lothian in Scotland, near the Scottish borders and about 30 miles east of Edinburgh. And let me just give you a quick pan round with my phone. So you can see the Law Hill over there, which is a volcanic plug. There's also multiple islands around North Berwick. One of them you can just see, which is the Bass Rock, which has the world's largest or second largest gannet population. They're like massive seagulls. And then there's also a standing stone just straight over here. There's one up on the hill as well. So yeah, it's a really beautiful location. And what I experienced was, as I went around, as I went through this meditation, excuse me, Patch, my dog, is enjoying himself sniffing around where all the other dogs go. So yeah, I really wanted to share the experience I had, which was connecting with a new spirit guide for me, her name is Trinity. And in this Akashic record meditation, I visited this location, and in the meditation I was walking just down this road here, and I'll probably come back to where it was that I saw the place where she lived or I lived. And I believe I don't know how this works or if it's the same for everybody, but I believe that the way it worked for me was the previous life was also me, or like a fragment of my soul. And so Trinity lived here, I think 300 years ago, and she was really responsible for a portal that connects into other dimensions or other areas of the universe, which is quite fantastic. And her home was just down here, and when I come back I'll show the area, and it's like a crystal cavern. So it's like this beautiful location where she would bring people for healing and also for transportation and exploring. And so what Trinity would do was she showed me a crystal cavern, which is just down this road behind me. I can't see it now in this lifetime. I mean, it may be underground. I have the sense that it was actually removed, that it was mined and removed. But yeah, she would take people to this relatively small underground crystal cavern, and it runs on. It's kind of connected to the Earth's grid, so to ley lines, and to which also the standing stones. Many of the standing stones here, dating back to Neolithic times, and they would act as like an energy conduit, so you could connect through that same energy into these different energy lines and be able to transport or communicate through them, or to connect through into different different parts of the universe. I think a deer has just started walking down the road towards me, which is beautiful, a wild deer. So I'm just distracted. So yeah, she would bring people there for healing, and I think to help, clear energy, to align chakras, to heal physical ailments, to help couples reconnect, both emotionally, energetically, physically. And yeah, a really beautiful place. I think in terms of the portal aspect, to be able to allow people to be able to travel through both their own light body, like an actual astral projection to anywhere in the universe, but also to be able to travel physically, or in part physically. I did see, she showed me being able to connect into someone else. So imagine being able to see through the eyes of someone 300 years ago, a bit like I did with Trinity. And come on, Patch. Trying to go in a field. Come on. Yeah, so imagine being able to connect to someone in any time, in any space, and see through their eyes. But it's more than just seeing, it's also feeling. And if the person was willing, they could allow you to control their body. Not really like a kind of possession, certainly not involuntary. But it would allow you to experience so much of what it was really like being there at that time. I believe to the extent that you would feel that you were that person, that you'd actually lose sight of your own incarnation, your own personality for a period of time. And I think that gives a real sense of what it's like to be someone else, to transport into their space and time, into their consciousness. And yeah, to share a bit more, so there's something I find that keeps bringing me back to this location. So ever since this meditation happened, I think it's 3 to 4 weeks ago, I've come back here most days with my family. We've been walking here and really just connecting with the peace here. It's incredible. It's like this peace and calm. I feel like energies are I feel like dimensions are more like they're in bubbles, and so they're like bubbles of energy. And so when you come to a physical location, you can step into like a higher dimension. And I think this is how, in many respects, our sacred sites, our ancient sites behave, is that you feel like you can connect into different skills and abilities and times, etc., all based on the fact that actually the physical location that you're in has a higher vibration, it has higher energies. So yeah, I feel like this has been a really magical place for me already in this lifetime. So to start with, just down at the end of this road, and it was on the path from here towards the Standing Stone, and the Standing Stone really sits, if I can just show you, directly behind me, on top of a kind of high point on the field. I saw, this maybe a couple of years ago, I saw a shadow figure kind of floating really fast from the left of my vision to the right. It was long enough they were slow enough for my eyes, my human eyes, to just kind of catch them track them moving from the left to the right. And it was enough time for me to kind of react. My morning run, and it was about 5 a.m. and it was just light enough to see, but there was really no opportunities. Like here, there's no opportunities for like light pollution or shadows by other kind of natural phenomena. And I felt like intuitively, I felt like it was just traveling towards the stone, that it was actually traveling on one of the energy lines here. And so it was just going straight towards the stone. And that was one of the first since I was a child, let's just say it was one of the first shadow figures I'd seen for any real length of time, like a few seconds. And then here I also saw, so on the top of this hill, this hill behind me here, is called Dune Hill, and there's a song I wrote about this. It was called Ship in the Sky, and there I saw the most amazing UFO I've ever seen. Now, I've seen some in my lifetime. They tend to be more common, like small lights, lights going up and down, lights traveling at speed. I've been to ECETI in Portland in the US and seen most amazing lights and manifestations there. But here, and I didn't have the opportunity to film it, unfortunately. I was running again in the morning. This is the same route I take in my morning run. Here I just saw the biggest UFO. It was just to the right of Doon Hill. I've just turned the corner, so it's hard to see. But yeah, there's the hill. It was to the right of it, and the only way I can describe it in size was it was roughly 5, if you imagine a full moon, and then you put them all in a line, so they became like just a horizontal line of moons. This thing would be like 5 or 6 in length, and it was like a cruise ship. I mean, it had like so many lights on it, and it was just massive. When I first saw it, I thought it was the moonlight shining on like a vapor trail, like a chemtrail of an airplane, and it was slowly moving across the sky, very slowly. I think I must have witnessed it for a couple of minutes. And when I saw it, I was with my dog, and he paused and stared at it. It was just above the hill, but high, but it was really high up. So it was definitely huge, like maybe miles in length. And yeah, that ship, sorry, flies with my, that ship was just incredible to see. I stood and cried, which I believe is quite a common reaction. I just like tears were just kind of flooding out of my eyes as I saw this thing. And yeah, I just thought it was incredible. It was, I asked my guides in meditation afterwards what it was, and they explained that it was like a galactic federation ship. So it's like a federation of lots of species from around and races from around the universe, and they travel together really to help support planet Earth through this transition, to help planets. And they had gone to great length to physically show themselves, like a big detour, and had come into this atmosphere, taking a calculated risk to show me beyond reasonable doubt that it's real, really real, like physically real, like not just imaginations and meditations and manifestations, like something you could reach out and physically touch. And yeah, for me that was incredible. It was one of the kind of life-changing moments in my life, in this life. And yeah, just I feel such humility and such gratitude for that experience. I know so many people would love to see it, and I think a big thing for me was I made it clear that I'm ready. I always want to be ready for the next stage, and sometimes I'm not quite. I was definitely ready for that. I felt like now's a good time to be exposed to something that's so amazing. Yeah, so that was the UFO. Yeah, and I was just going back to like this place is such a magical location, and we're also coming up on an area, and I think a lot of this story is linked. I don't know much about the story. I should really read up more on our history books, but in this area, around 200 to 300 years ago, there were many witch trials. So witches were hunted, killed. In fact, just about a mile up, straight ahead from me, up this way, there's something called a witch's stone, and the stone sits at the side of a tree where they would hang witches, which is so sad, such a sad part of our history. Now, I do believe that there was some. Sorry, I felt someone was following me. Yeah, I do feel like there was lots of dark, or magic used for dark practices in the area, and there's something about the land here that's the site, the energies, the energy channels, like the ley lines, made it very powerful, like the ability to amplify your gifts. And so if you wanted to manipulate the 3D world around you, life, death, influencing people, you could do this control through various practices in this area. And I feel like that practice caused a lot of scarring on our land. It scarred our history, and it caused this area, parts of this area, to kind of fall into darkness. And so I'm just kind of sensing, as I'm saying these words in this area for the first time, that there feels like there's somewhat a reaction to these things I'm saying. So it kind of sending shiver down my spine. I feel like in previous lives I was part of, I was quite possibly, lightly persecuted in a previous life for being a witch, and good or bad, and everything in between. And I feel like what's changed is, and what we're doing as a human race is really healing our history. And I feel like a big part of my life is to heal my ancestry, is to heal what happened to me, and to forgive. And what's amazing is I also feel quite connected to some of the elemental spirits around in this area. And there's some here. There's one in particular, which is like a kind of tree spirit that stands as a guardian over the area. It's like almost the entrance to the area where the kind of land and the energies were wounded by the activities that took place. And so that's really beautiful, because I pass them every day on my morning run, and the message I get is, come on, Patch. The message I get is very much, our work of healing this land in this area is done. I feel like we're able to forgive, we're able to release, we're able to remember and never forget both those that persecuted and those that were persecuted. That we are both sides. We are the darkness and the light. We are the light side of humanity and the dark, all rolled into one, and it's our jobs to heal that. So yeah, I think this is on a continued journey of explaining why this area is important to me. It's also an area that I frequent. So I run every day here at 5 a.m. I run with my dog Patch, who's desperately trying to sniff every single flower and every dog scent that he can smell as he goes. He loves it here. And he's running away. And come on, Patch, we're going this way. Come on, Patchy. Good boy. Yeah, the more I visit, the more I feel like it helps me remember, and it helps me remember my gifts and experiences. So yeah, I definitely recommend following your intuition. If you feel guided to go to a place, go there. Go and find out what it feels like. Excuse me. Find out. Oh, there's a beautiful butterfly. Yeah, fly, be free. Yeah, like really connect with it. Be grateful for the feelings and experiences that you get. And sometimes I feel like I connect with and can see, the people that maybe if I visit an old castle, I can see how they lived their past lives. Sorry, how they lived at that time, and whether I I believe in some of my lifetimes I've traveled a lot, so that becomes pretty confusing because you're thinking, oh, I was definitely here in a previous life, maybe as a healer or a teacher or as a soldier, and and then you're thinking, actually, how long was I here? Like maybe it was just a couple of weeks. But I often think the energies of places, they really sit with you for a long time. You know, you feel like, wow, this is really it. This was an important moment in my life. Yeah, so this is already a long video, and I just thought I'd take the opportunity to share. It's funny, I still feel compelled to talk, and I'm not sure why I'm being guided. I will keep talking. So yeah, what's happened since I first visited. I have come back many times, as I said, to this location, and yeah, the sense I get is that I'm being guided to, come on, Patch. I'm being guided to reactivate gifts from previous lives. Some of those gifts include being able to connect into the energies that flow between like standing stones, and then feel through them, communicate through them, like telepathy, a bit like a telephone, but with emotion as well. So being able to communicate, you know, happiness or your intention or the feeling behind words, the thoughts that you share. So that's definitely one aspect of a gift. I believe that was one of the things that Trinity did, and I believe before her lifetime, sometime before then, also lifetimes of being able to levitate stones through sound, which I have done a little bit of reading online, and can see there's some kind of great conspiracy theories or, you know, ancient archaeology theories that describe how ancients would move stones through sound, and that it is actually possible. We have done some science experiments to move things like to levitate ping pong balls, etc., through sound, that they can sit and rest on the energy of sound waves. And I guess it kind of makes sense that we know you can move things with sound, but I think the key is the resonant frequency of stone and different types of stone. And you can not just levitate it, but you can also manipulate it almost like it's water, which, if it's possible, would explain how they could move such giant stones. I mean, some of the stones, some of the biggest I've seen are down in Yorkshire. They look a bit like Stonehenge standing stones, but they're pointy at the top, or more pointy, and they're giant. They're like, I think they're like maybe 10 meters tall, and I just don't know how it's done. You know, you need a lot of workers to do that physically, and even today, you need a really big crane and a lot of diggers to have to place something like that standing up. So yeah, that's definitely part of it. I feel guided to visit some more ancient sites, and I think that's really interesting, because doing that, you'll be able to connect with your previous experiences there. I feel like the key to connecting with and reactivating gifts from previous lives is that your soul does remember them, that you do remember them. This kind of veil of forgetfulness, forgetfulness, I definitely have that, as you're born, is that whilst it wipes away the kind of many of the memories and experience, just like you can recall memories with emotion attached, like it's a great trigger, like how did you feel, like how did I feel when I was a kid, like what got me excited, you know, Christmas Eve or birthdays or doing something new for the first time, or seeing someone for the first time, and those feelings, if you can connect back into those, is an amazing way of being able to really feel through what that gift was like. What were the sensations that you felt in your hands, you know, and the sounds you made, the smells that you could smell around you. You just see, this always seems to happen here. This absolutely beautiful, look at that, it's just these sun rays. I know it's the west, that direction, is where the sun sets, but yeah, I guess I'm being guided, which is, you're doing it. You're doing it, Jon. You're speaking your truth, no matter how crazy it feels, and you're sharing it with the world. I'd love to hear more about your experiences and everyone's experiences, but I'll finish talking about mine, which is, I feel like if you can connect with the feelings, the sounds, the smells, the emotions of what happened when you were utilizing those gifts, and also the preparation. How did you do it? Could you just literally walk up to a stone and, I don't know, start using your voice or some sort of technology in your hands, or did you prepare first? Did you spend the morning, grounding and calming and resting and making sure that you became a fully aligned, kind of fully clear channel, so that you could then go and channel this energy from the ambient space around you, or from the earth, or energy channels, like however you did it. And I think there are really interesting aspects to reflect on. And then, of course, once you reconnect with, identify what the ability is, and figure out what steps you took to carry it through, to then try it. I try it in this lifetime. Now, I've not tried levitating stones yet. That would be, that's on my bucket list for sure. I have tried some of this kind of telekinesis, which I've seen others do, like Kimberkiss on Instagram and YouTube. You should definitely check out our channel. Kim can, using energy flowing through her hands, move plants, make a tree, a bush shake in front of you, with this kind of fluttering of waves. And if I try it, let me see if there's one here. The one she did was had lots of little leaves. Yeah, it's kind of like this, where you just put your hand out like that, and you let the energy flow up through your arm, and it would just move, it would just flutter by itself. I'd love to claim, I don't know if you could see it, I'd love to claim that movement was me. I think it was probably the wind. But yeah, I do believe it's possible. It feels possible. It feels like we know that we are energy beings, and it feels like we can, transmit energy. So why can't the energies of other living things around us interact with that? I think they do. So yeah, I think I've explained a little bit about the land and about reconnecting with your gifts. What else did I want to cover? I don't think I've ever spoken this long on a video. This is so exciting. Yeah, I think the other thing is, I'd love to hear more about your truths. So a big thing for me is, I'm a father. I have a full-time day job. I work in a big company, and you see me writing a song every day. And I remember, one big thing for me was taking that a step further and speaking more of my truth. Look at these. Wow. So cool. So a big thing for me was also speaking my truth. And I after hearing a reading that a friend, a great friend, Michelle Dequoy, gave me, saying that I should do everything I can to bring in my kind of metaphysical, these kind of spiritual experiences into this 3D world. And I find it a little bit ironic that when I do, it's through things like virtual media like this, like social media platforms. But yeah, it's physical, right? Here I am in this physical road, speaking out loud to my phone. It brings these into this reality. Words, thoughts, feelings all manifest. They are creators of this reality. So, where's it getting to? Yeah, I feel like it's really important to share your truth and not be afraid to share it. I love this this video recently from Jenny at Starseed Academy, and a big thanks to her for introducing me to my guide Trinity in the Akashic Records meditation. And one thing Jenny said was, spirituality is not like a religion. She described it as, being a free thinker, and in free thinking, it's a journey, right? It's like you just go through your life, you have different experiences, you use your heart to figure out whether you think that feels like it's real for you. Is it your truth or not? You observe in this lifetime so much around you, observe chaos. And, on one hand, dumbed down mainstream media to control the masses, placates us. And then on the other extreme, these conspiracy theories that seem so outlandish. And I'm sure there's truth in all of it. And as Jenny describes, you'll probably find somewhere in the middle your truth. I don't know that it's always in the middle, but sometimes I think it is at either extreme. But yeah, I feel like that sentiment is true, which is, if you listen to your heart, you can find your own truth. Sorry, fly. And when you find your own truth, share it. And your truth can evolve. You can be right a lot. You can be right about something today, it feels right, and then tomorrow you learn something new, and that also feels right. And this is okay. So, yeah, in speaking my truth, I do feel much more liberated. Yesterday, my daughter asked me about my spirit guides. We got talking about them, like I was explaining how I channel each day through meditation and song. And she was saying, well, what's it like talking to your spirit guides? And I said, well, there's this main one called Maya, and she's like a spirit of this of the planet, like a sister of Gaia, and I think she's more kind of elemental and like a surface, or I don't know, but she's like my main guide. And so my dog Patch is running around me, and yeah, she's often fronting the conversation, but I know my other guides do step in individually, and they have very different personalities. Maya's always very calm and very tolerant of my my stresses or my impatience, and the others can kind of come in when that kind of energy is right. And it's really important, like first of all, being sovereign and a bit protective of myself too, right? I only invite in my guides. I don't talk to any other entity. If something wants to communicate with me, it can go through my spirit team, it can go through my higher self. And they're great kind of proxies and protectors. And then when I do have communication, I feel like it resonates in my heart. And I was describing it down to my daughter's question, really being very still, quiet. It's such a quiet voice. And as I hear it, to me it sounds like a bit like my intuition, or a bit like my imagination talking to me, my subconscious, but has a voice, a calm voice, and speaks very softly to me. And as I hear the words, intuitively, I speak them out loud. And the reason I speak them out loud is partly because my memory isn't always amazing. I feel like my memory is like in some sort of quantum reality. I'm always forgetting stuff. And then at the same time, speaking it out loud manifests it into this reality, right? So it becomes of this 3D world, this 3D dimension, as you speak it out loud. Yes, I was explaining that to my daughter, and then she's asking about their names, and it's funny, my reaction was, I found it quite hard to explain their names and to explain that, you know, I think the majority are, you know, they're alien to this planet. Not all. 3 of them are, including Maya, are from this planet, or at least from this planet in their spirit guide incarnation, if you like. So that kind of, that personality, that role that they play, it's not just their soul that I see, it's their manifestation of a lifetime, and some of which I've shared lifetimes with, maybe all of which. So yeah, I just found that, like, for me, it was like a big step talking to a family member, especially one of my children, about my spirit guides. And I must say, both my kids are really open to it, and I think it's lovely to let people ask questions, and I would love them to be more open to this. But at the same time, it scares me too, right? I just feel scared that it's quite strange to talk about things that are just very difficult to explain to others. And not everyone experiences. Even people, you know, it took me 2 or 3 years before I first met my guides, but I've been channeling meditations for quite some time before that, and I was obviously talking to them daily, but I didn't know my spirit guides. I didn't know that's what I was doing. I guess it was my higher self. But anyway, yeah, I feel like that's a journey, and I feel like my reaction to it is really interesting. You know, you learn from your reactions, from your triggers, and I guess I was triggering myself by talking about something that I'm very sensitive about. So yeah, I thought the best thing to do is put in a video and stick it on YouTube. And maybe I'm hiding behind in plain sight by leaving it towards the end of a video. So yeah, I'm just going to end here because we've walked for ages. This must be like a half-hour video or something. And what I want to share finally is just the location of Trinity's kind of portal caves. It was like a crystal cavern. So it's just down here past my car. Yeah, just on the left-hand side opposite the car. And there you'd go, I believe, like down small steps, just down into underground cave. Now, what's really interesting is just to the other side, on the opposite side of the road, is this, which is something like a 200-year-old water treatment or water filter plant. And I find that really interesting, that it seems to be directly opposite. And if you look at this space on Google Maps, it has this massive black cloud that sits over it, which really doesn't make any sense. I don't know why. It's not a shadow, there's no clouds. So yeah, so it's almost like a void of energy. Patch this way. So yeah, I hope you found the video useful. Just coming, Patch. Hope you found it useful. I really enjoyed taking you with me on a journey. And yeah, I look forward to sharing more about my more spiritual adventures. And yeah, we're back in the car. It's very hot in here. And just looking forward to getting back, seeing the family, relaxing, getting ready for a new day, writing a new song. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please share in your comments if you found this video useful, if you'd like me to do more of these things. And yeah, I look forward to sharing more with you. Take care. Sending all my love from Scotland.